system not being what you think it to be. And first, I'll start off this video with a disclaimer, and also, if you want to actually understand what this system is, and you're somebody really into politics, or understanding at least what it is, you're not going to want to miss this video. But I will put a disclaimer here. I am not somebody who pays attention to politics, but there is a big secret around the system, which not a lot of people have picked up on, which I do know about. I don't know about politics directly, but I know about the thing that relates to politics, which I'll get into. Big secret. But in essence, my disclaimer is that this is obviously my perspective, so don't get triggered or butthurt about, oh, well, he doesn't believe in politics, why should I listen to what he say, or, like, get triggered because, like, it seems like I'm making fun of your parties, and by the way, if I was, I'd be making fun of both, but I'm not. I'm just going to outline the characteristics. But essentially, again, my disclaimer is that I'm not affiliated with either political party. I do not care about politics. I think it's all a puppet show anyway. The only reason I'm talking about this is because it's related to another subject, which I do find interesting. And I find it interesting that not a lot of people have actually made this connection. But as always, feel free to do your own research. And yeah, obviously I'm not. Another thing I will say is that I myself always advocate for making your own opinions as an individual, not basing it off your nationality, religion, political affiliation, social status, whatever, gender, whatever it is. I don't care. I just say know who you are as an individual and stick to that. You don't have to base what you think off whatever system you are associated with, right? You should be able to make your decisions as an individual and not tie them to any system, right? So essentially what I'm saying is that that's what I do. I make my decisions as an individual. I'm not tied to any system. So you know that what I'm telling you is just because it's my opinion. It's not associated with the left or right. It's not associated with any religion. It's not associated with my background. It's not associated with my gender. It's not associated with my social status. And that's why I'm going to get into this. So yeah, if you're somebody who gets butthurt over these things, the exit button is that way, or whichever way. It's somewhere on the screen, so click off now. But if you actually want to understand the truth about these systems, then stick around, because I will get into it. I'll tell you something you probably didn't know. So, and I'll outline it on the board here. Let me pose for the thumbnail first. Okay, that's probably good enough. So, political, not so much occult. Yeah. So, this is the thing that I'm getting into in this video. Like I said, if you have a problem with deep subjects like this, or, you have, a tendency to get triggered about people who have different opinions from you, the exit button is somewhere on the screen, so find it now. But in any case, there's a deep connection between these things. And essentially, there is what is known in the occult as a left and this is what relates to spirituality as well, both of these paths here. And it's more than just the left and right hand path being like tied to magic. The thing is, and this is the deeper part of it that a lot of people don't realize, is that your body is cross-wired, meaning you have two currents that flow through your body, and they come from the hemispheres of your brain. You can search this up online. As I said, I always encourage you guys to do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Don't rely on me. Take accountability. Go do your own research. The left hemisphere of your brain is very much the logical, analytical, calculative, quantifiable part of your brain. The right hemisphere of your brain is very much the intuitive, creative, abstract, unquantifiable part of your brain. So essentially, you have two parts of your brain that function differently. And the thing is that your body is cross-wired. So essentially what that means is that the right hemisphere of your brain controls your left hand. The left part of your brain controls your right hand. And because of this cross-wiredness, you have these two currents here. And one is the current of destruction and one is the current of creation. And the thing is, to get out of the way, neither of these are good or bad. You need both for order and harmony, essentially in balance, unity, and love. The thing is that, I'm sure you guys have heard the saying that destruction paves the way for creation. So for something new to come, something old must go. So that is a true statement, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But here, the left-hand path, you have here on the right-hand path, you have so on the left-hand path, you have too much free will, and on the right-hand path, you have no free will. And the basis of this is that, like when you are thinking in your like analytical mind, which is the right-hand path, that means that you only see things in a way that you can quantify and that you can put into like a frame of reference in your mind, something that you can basically attach some attribution to. And when you're on the left-hand path, you are essentially more in the state of not assigning things to anything. And basically, the essence of these are like, what I mean by too much free will is by basically that you can have, like, let's say you're driving down a road and the road branches off into different parts. Basically, what this means is that if you are of the left-hand path, you could have multiple roads open, but you can't make a decision which road to go down because it only sees from a place of objectivity where like no analytical part can be implemented. And with the right-hand path, what I mean by no free will is essentially you can be driving down the road and the road branches off, but you only see one path regardless of there being multiple paths. You only see one and you only continue along one. Why? Because regardless of whether you have options, you are going to continue down the path, because regardless of basically like here, it's almost like here you have direction, but you have no will to use that direction for your own individuality, for your own self. And here, you have too much individuality where you have no direction. So that's why I'm saying both of these need to be in a state of balance. You even hear like Buddha say, like, oh, walk the middle path, right? That's what is meant by this, and this is why spiritual people typically don't care about politics. I'm not saying all spiritual people don't care about politics or it's a prerequisite to being spiritual or anything like that, but I'm saying that typically they don't care about what goes on in the news media with politics for this reason, because they understand that, you know, there's no balance here. There's no balance. Me, I don't vote. I don't vote. I don't watch the news in terms of politics. I don't care about who wins the election. I only see things in relativity to me. I don't see things in relativity to my affiliation with things. So, essentially, the left-hand path is like basically that aspect of destruction which paves the way for new things to come, like creation, which is the right-hand path. And creation is what is needed to make something out of the way that was paved by destruction. So this is why, like, the left-hand path, you see a lot of like people who are just like expressing themselves, but maybe it's not completely coherent. And that's why on the right-hand path you see a lot of people who are like maybe stuck in a certain doctrine or ways of thinking, and they're not willing to change. So basically it's two ends of the same spectrum, but the thing is, there should be a middle line that says, well, here you can, like, even if there was a place to vote middle, I obviously still would not vote because it's still a puppet show. The thing is that they've created the political system in this way to basically control the way that not only the country is run, but the way that people are segregated into groups. So the thing is that if you want to be somebody who has their own individuality, you must analyze it from a state of objectivity, meaning that you can't base things off how you see it. You must see things outside of yourself, meaning that you can say, let me put everything I currently believe aside for a moment, and let me just see things in a way that is genuinely true, in a way that's going to benefit me, regardless of whatever like doctrine or system is in play, regardless of whether that's politics, religion, race, social status, like all of them. So after you're able to put all that aside, you can actually establish yourself as an individual. And like I said, both of these are needed for the state of balance. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot have destruction without creation. Like, this is why the universe runs in harmony. This is why life and death come in a cycle, right? Look, even if you look at the body, like, parts of your body are dying every day, but they regrow. So life and death is happening every day. Day and night is happening every day. So, like, day and night is happening every day. But yeah, basically, like, the sun will always come up the next day. The moon will always come out at night, even if you can't see it because it's new moon or whatever. But that's besides the point. My point is that essentially you need both. You need both for things to work in harmony with one another. But because they've set up the political system in a way where you can only choose between these two, it's just a way to control people into thinking that they have an influence on the state in which the country is run. So, like, what's the best way to convince people not to dispel the matrix? Well, convince them that they have free will, convince them that they have a decision, and that it's not that they have too much free will or no free will, that they have just enough free will, which is how they say, oh yeah, here, we'll give you this, we'll give you the opportunity to vote for who you want. And then when, the vote comes in, they say, oh, well, yeah, the country voted for this. No, you didn't vote for anything. They made you believe that you voted for something to give you the illusion of free will. So, that's my take on this. You can look into the left and right hand path deeper, and also this is why you see like a lot of people on the left who are typically like, let's say, very diverse in nature, and why you see a lot of people on the right who are typically like religious or stuff like that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with either of these. The only thing is that you want to make sure that you have a balance, right? That you're able to know who you are. And that's why I would say that your best bet, if you want to be an individual, is not associating in the political system at all, because it's better to have your own individuality than to vote and think it matters when it really does not, because that's just how they're scheming to take power away from people by convincing them that they have a choice, give them the illusion of choice, so then they don't fight back against the system. So I know there's some people who are probably watching this who are indoctrinated to the point where they're like, oh, I don't believe anything this guy says or whatever. Then this video's not for you, click off, right? So I told you that, you might not like what you hear. Some of you might go, yeah, what this guy's saying is really true. But either way, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you decide who you want to be. Ultimately, I'm on the side of the people. So the other thing is too, I'm not knocking either of the characteristics that are associated with these ways of thinking, because like the left-hand path is needed for like new things to come. The right-hand path is needed for you to actually like, I guess, have a state of what's the word? Like a plan, right? Like a divine plan almost, right? So this is the thing, and this is why you see like I said, a lot of religious people on the right, and the thing is like the right hand path is what they call white magic, and that is typically seen as the good magic, and the left hand path is seen as the bad magic. But this is a news flash for you. That's fake news. Neither of these are actually good or bad. The left hand path is not bad. The right hand path is not good. Well, no more than the other, right? The thing is that you need both to actually have free will. You need to have the right hand path to be able to essentially preserve your spirit and your ideals, and you need the left hand path to actually create change when your ideals are not working. But that's the reason why they've divided it into two separate groups, because they say, oh well, if we get people to vote for one or the other, then we disrupt the balance within them, right? So this is the whole scheme. But anyway, that's the video basically. And the thing is too that I'm on the side of the angels, the channel's not called Sword of Mercury for nothing. But I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritualist. I study like all the religions, but I'm not religious. I'm somebody who takes all of that information available to me and says, okay, how can I make my truth out of what I'm learning? So that's the thing, that true spirituality is about learning and developing yourself as an individual. It's not about just saying, well, okay, well, I've read this and there's only one way to interpret what I've read. No, there's 1,000 ways to interpret what you've read, but it's based on you. It's based on who's reading it. Somebody who is it's almost like looking at a painting in some sense. right? Like someone can look at a painting and see one thing, and another person can look at a painting and see something else. And that's the same thing with reading, right? Somebody can read a book and imagine one thing, and another person can read a book and imagine something else. So this is the essence of what is based around like spirituality and even like religion, right? Which is more so associated with the right hand path. But don't go so much into it where you don't rely on your own intuitive guidance. And remember, intuition is something of the left hand path, and divine guidance is something of the right hand path. So because that's the what's the word, it's basically like darkness and light, you know. The yin yang is what creates balance. So you need both in balance, right? So this is the basis of the whole political scam. So excuse me. But yeah, so in any case, excuse me. That's my video for today. Yeah, I know some of you might be like, yeah, this guy's crazy. Some of you might be like, oh, this guy's a genius. But I don't care really what you think of me. I only care that you take this information and make it benefit you. Remember, I'm on your guys' side. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm saying here's information. Do with it what you want. Believe it if you want. Don't believe it if you want. Dig deeper. Don't dig deeper. It's up to you. That's the thing, that you have the free will to make these decisions. So don't be too much to one side or the other. Have balance, have unity, have harmony, and then you'll see just how far you can go as an individual and how much you can truly express yourself. This has been The Sword of Mercury, brought to you by the Prince of Mercury. Prince of Mercury. That's better. Also, what I was going to say is it's called the Prince of Mercury. It's called the Sword of Mercury because it's related to the Archangel. You know, that one who's named Michael, who's got the big flaming sword that smites down demons. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Again, not a religious person, just a spiritual person. And I'm on the side of the angels, and I'm on your side. See you in the next video.